Well, welcome back, friends. Today is Mother's Day, May 14th. We're glad that you've joined us for another week. It's been a joy coming through these daily devotions along with you and hearing back from you about what you're enjoying and what you're sharing with them and the different ways that you're engaging, especially as we go into different spaces. You can see parts of the church that maybe you haven't seen in a while or ever seen. So today, because it's Mother's Day, we're beginning a new focus this week, which will feature a variety of speakers. It won't be just me. You'll see me today and tomorrow, and then maybe at the end of the week. And in between that, you're going to be hearing people talking about different mothers. So in honor of Mother's Day, we'll be hearing about different mothers in the Bible. Today, we begin with Eve. Our scripture for reflection is Genesis chapter 3, verses 20 through 24. And in just a moment, we'll be hearing our key verse, which is chapter 3, verse 20. It's incredible to think that we all share a common ancestry. One of the exciting things here at Brewster Baptist Church is to figure out who is related to who has Mayflower connections, founding member connections, or other kinds of connections. I'll never cease to be amazed at the discovery of a new pair of very distant cousins. The further we look into our past, the more connections we can see. When we take our gaze all the way back to the beginning in the early chapters of Genesis, we see God the Creator, followed directly by Adam and Eve, our first common parents. We were reminded by Pastor Tom that Adam comes from Adamah, a Hebrew wordplay on earthling made from earth, just as in Latin the human comes from the humus. The name Eve is a little different, although it's related, meaning life, to live, or source of life. Genesis chapter 3 verse 20 reads, "And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living." So Eve is often referred to as the mother of all living. We can think of this in terms of the human family, and we can also think of it in terms of Adam and Eve's charge to care for plants, creatures, the ground, to cultivate a living for themselves. Eve was a mother to Cain, Abel, and Seth, and she was motherly to all within her realm and her domain. Nowadays, we use the word Eve on a regular basis. Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, All Hallows Eve. Well, maybe not so much on that last one. The word has made its way into our common vernacular, especially when we think about the evening of each day. As for Mother Eve, in Genesis, she was the crown of God's creation, and in the Hebrew culture, this referred to the beginning of a new day, the evening, rather than the end of a day. And so in thinking about Mother Eve in Genesis, this is the creature who ultimately defined what God had done as very good. We all long for the love of a mother. And of all the mothers in Scripture, Eve fought passionately and heroically, sometimes tragically, for herself and for her family, through thick and through thin, through life lessons, losses, and all. She remains for us an example of new beginnings, fresh perspective, and the need to lean into our relationship with God on a daily basis. We give thanks for the mother of all living here at the beginning of this Mother's Day week.